take flight.
Hello everybody, my name is Skybound,
Starflax.
and we've just got finished watching episode 31 of Boku no Hero Academia. As usual, you can find our reaction down in the description below.
Well, so that was doing that episode was about the essentially the aftermath of the Hero Killer Slain incident,
Yep.
and it seems like I forget the name of the guy running the League of Flipping Villains, but
Yeah.
he's been overshadowed by this Hero Killer Slain guy.
But by some weird twist, while he has been overshadowed,
he's also benefited from it.
Yeah.
Because he was the one behind the attack of those bird flipping brain monsters things that I can't remember the bloody name of off the top of my head.
well, because he was seen, they were seen overseeing the Hero Killer Stain, like watching him by that news helicopter. Essentially, this story was basically.
So it sounds like that they thought that he was related to he was like part of the same group of essentially the League of Villains. So they were distracting people with the flipping. They thought that the whole, the monsters were basically a distraction. And the main feature attraction was the Hero Killer Slain bit.
I mean, essentially, the media didn't bother to do any further investigation. It just put 1 and 2 together and made 4, and then just
why does that surprise me? Why does that?
It's like, This is really weird. This doesn't seem anything like the mainstream media that I know.
No, this is totally not like the mainstream media at all. PewDiePie.
But anyway, yeah, it was pretty interesting actually how he believed, essentially the leader of the League of Villains believed that essentially he'd been made a sideshow essentially by this whole attack. Like he was originally sort of furious about that, but by some weird twist of fate, he's by the media believing that it was the League of Villains behind this. He's actually starting to gain followers, and that's obviously going to be playing a big part later on.
The interesting thing about this is that this Hero Killer is now he actually survived as well.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Somehow, despite all that him being absolutely paralysed by his own body, essentially, he managed to survive that. And he's in hospital at the moment. So I wonder what he's going to think about all this bloody, the flipping League of Villains essentially taking over and co-opting his message essentially. Because I can see what's going to happen. The leader of the League of Villains is going to start following that ideological stand, but only parroting it, basically giving it lip service, but not actually following it through. He'd basically be virtually signaling that about it without actually going and actually being virtuous. And I can see all sorts of types of villains who are basically actual villains, but basically joining his group because they feel like they've been, essentially suppressed by the heroes, essentially.
Yeah.
I can actually see where this is going, and I kind of do. I have to admit, the way they're doing it, I like it. I like the way they're going about with this because this clearly has quite a moral message behind it.
It's also relatively kind of realistic.
Yeah,
like, again,
it is realistic.
I'm always pleasantly surprised by how realistic they've made this world, even though it's full of heroes and villains.
I mean, I think what you mean by realistic world, what you really if the characters are realistic.
It's believable.
Yeah.
You could identify the flaws that are
you can see the
present in this society are also ones that would be present in our society, that are present in our society.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the only difference really is the
superpowers.
Yeah, it's the superpowers, and that's what's so good. That's why it seems so realistic, despite them having superpowers. you can essentially the superpowers. Sure, they're not the thing that makes them human. What makes them human is the character flaws which you can see and you probably recognise in other people and yourself in there, and that's what I think's generally interesting about this show. And I've got to hand it to them. The show has been consistently good. I can see why, it's got so much praise.
Yeah.
When I first heard about the show, it's like, I didn't, I was casually aware of, that it was a popular show, but I didn't realise why it was so damn popular. And now I watched a lot of it, so I can fully understand it.
Yeah. Also, other consequences. Obviously, we don't want to overshadow the other consequences that went on as well, including as a result of the apprentices essentially kind of interfering with the work of the actual heroes.
Well,
even if it was to...
I don't think it was so much to interfere. I think it was more of a case of they weren't apprehending them. Apprehending him, the hero is saying. They were actually damaging him. They were actually... Wasn't it something like that? Where they were...
I'm pretty sure it was because they had essentially abandoned that because they're apprentices, they're meant to be with their with like their managers, I guess you could use the word for it.
Yeah.
But they had essentially abandoned them, and so as a result, they've had to basically hide the fact that it was the kids that basically took down the hero killer, and instead make all the credit go to Endeavour. So essentially they avoid any sort of punishment because a big public event like that, well, like it or not, they're going to end up getting punished for that.
See, the thing is, this is why when a massive event happens,
you
should always be a little bit sceptical, and you should at least look behind us. Don't just take the first-hand media view of things. Actually do a little bit of research if it's something that you generally feel strong about.
But it actually kind of reminds me of a story I read a while ago. It was about someone, a man who saves someone from a shark attack, right?
Yeah.
So, heroic act. However, he ended up getting fired from his job because he said he was on sick leave.
Oh! Oh my god!
So this highly publicised event just made the boss of the company go, hold on a minute. Didn't John say he was sick today? Yes, sir. Right, okay. Right, that bastard saving people from sharks. Alright? But yeah.
Yeah, but as a company, you're kind of in a bit of a tough spot there. You're going to have to let the guy off with a warning, essentially. If you fired the guy...
I'm pretty sure he actually did get fired.
Oh my god, at that point I would say, okay, look, you are going to get a written warning. Don't do something stupid like this again. But because you saved somebody's fucking life, I am willing to give you a little bit of fucking leeway.
But that's what I find...
No, to be fair, if you're gonna... that's why you shouldn't bloody take off time off work when you don't fucking feel ill.
Or that's why you have a little thing called annual leave.
Yeah.
Just a quick tip if you do want to go saving people from sharks.
Don't you dare go plugging your flipping company. We're not having a paid promotion.
No, but
not your company, but the company you work for.
But yeah, what I also find interesting is that those consequences for their actions also kind of ballooned outwards. So, for example, Gran Torino has lost his teaching license for 6 months as a result of that.
Yeah, this is...
So essentially that also means that I suppose that
actions have consequences.
Well, I also believe that means that Midoriya will have to go back to All Might.
Oh god, yeah, it does.
Because he's got a teaching license. Gran Torino no longer has a teaching license. That, or he gets put somewhere else.
If he got sent, yeah, but the thing is, nowhere else bloody accepted him, did they?
Well, that's the thing. So it's most likely
he's probably going to go back.
To All Might.
Yeah, it's probably going to go back to All Might. So this is. I wouldn't be surprised if the next episode covers him going back there. I mean, or maybe it covers something completely different. I don't know. This show keeps on throwing me a curveball, if I'm honest, which is why I kind of like how it's
Yeah.
It's surpassed my expectations
It is-
every bloody time.
It is really good, and that was actually a really nice episode. It was more mellow than the ones that we've had so far.
To be fair, I can't remember. It's like we've had a bit of a break since the last.
Yeah.
What's the last one? Because
Obviously,
various stuff has happened, and he's had one hell of a January at his workplace because he works on time software, holiday software. Funny enough, so basically January is when everyone's booking their holidays, so he's had hell. So that's the reason why we haven't recorded as much.
the last 2 or 3 episodes, it's been pretty intensive fighting.
Yeah.
So it was nice just to have an episode that was just kind of a bit calmer, that just kind of explained what was going on. It gives it a nice break, and that would actually be really refreshing when you are maybe marathoning this.
Yeah, I think to be fair,
Because all that excitement, you've got to eventually sort of you gotta let it spike and let it calm down a bit.
the thing is, we watch this like from weekend to weekend because it's the only time we can actually get together enough time to actually watch any of this stuff. That's just the reason why sometimes we don't get things out straight away, because we live in completely different towns, now. And while that may not seem much when you live in America, neither of us actually have a car, so it kind of makes things harder for us. But anyway, the point is, we kind of don't marathon stuff. We kind of watch a couple of episodes a week, basically. So that's the reason why. But yeah, you're right. If we were marathoning it.
Yeah, it would be a nice sort of way to sort of chill a bit after the sort of adrenaline rush of the previous episodes. Overall, I'm going to give that episode a solid 8.2. I'm going to go for.
8.2. Yeah, I'd actually give it 8.3. Actually.
8.3.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, good episode. Hope you enjoyed our discussion. If you watched our reaction, hope you enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
As usual, my name is Skybound.
So I'd like.
I will see you for the next episode of Boku no Hero Academia, episode 32. See you later.
See you later.
Goodbye.